Right, so it's September 2015 is when I put this this little beastie into the bike. This is a Streetwise GPS tracking system, and somebody commented about the fact, you know, that it was 2 years, and I suddenly realised that, yeah, it's blimey, it's been in there quite a while. So I thought I'd do a kind of a review on it to say what. It's weird to say how I'd got on with it. Obviously, the issue with the GPS tracker is it's been absolutely useless because no one stole my bike. So the only way you could test it is if somebody actually stole your bike. Now, the basic premise of how this works still works, continues to work, has no issue. This is the first time I've taken it out of where it had been hidden for 2 years. It's absolutely fine. There's a bit of scuffing on the top, so maybe when I put it back I'm going to secure it more in place rather than just leave it in a location. I've got a Triumph Tiger, so I've got a lot of room to put this, so maybe if it was more compact it wouldn't move around as much. So obviously I haven't had to use this in anger, but I have tested it. I've obviously been keeping on top of it, but the basic premise is the same no matter which one of these kind of entry-level GPS tracking devices you get. The crux of it is you have a SIM card in the device, you phone the device then sends you a text message with the GPS coordinates that it last discovered. That is as simple as it can get. What I'm going to do next is throughout the 2 years of having this device, during the installation of this, during the months after, and you know the subsequent sort of nearly 2 years, there are things that I've learned, things that I've picked up that might help you if you want to do this. And in reality, this was 50 quid, but you can now get them for 40 quid. And the SIM card has probably cost me about 20 quid. And there's a way you could reduce that cost as well. And I'll cover how to improve on how much you spend. But you know, 60 quid is not a lot. But the thing you've got to bear in mind is that if you wanted to do this professionally, so get somebody to install this onto your bike and then have a subscription to do this, they're going to take the hassle away from you. Now, it's not a massive hassle, but there are things that you would do with this to make sure that you're not wasting your money on this. And I'll give you one of them now. When you buy this is a Streetwise one. This is made by, I think, a company called TK Star. This is who this is made by. So when you buy this from Streetwise, from Maplin, you get a pretty shoddy instruction manual with the premise that I said. You phone it or text it and it replies with the location. That's as simple as those instructions go. But if you go and get the TK Star instructions, then they talk about more things you can do. So for example, here's the first tip with this. When I first got this came pre-packaged with a Lebara SIM card. So I authorised the Lebara SIM card. I think I put about a £5 on it, and then I left it. I did some testing myself, left it with about 2 or 3 quid on it, and just left it at that. Then I got an automated response saying your credit is now below a certain level. Do you want to top up? I didn't understand why that had happened when I went to it. Some phone in, I think it was Ghana or somewhere like that, a 234 dialing code, had phoned my bike 7 or 8 times, and every time you phone your bike it sends you a text at 19 pence a time. So because you've registered a mobile phone on a network, that details get sold to people to do marketing. They'll ring your bike. They might, you know, they don't know it's a bike. They'll think it's Mrs. Miggins, you know, trying to sell them insurance or whatever. So they'll ring your bike. the first thing you can do with this is you can send this a code, send this a text message to say what the admin number is. So you can tell it to only respond to a certain number. So that's the first thing you should do with this. Once you've set it all up, you send it, and it's in the instructions, you send this, the details of the admin phone. I might have to go and shut my dog up, but I best not, because he's one of the reasons why my bike hasn't been stolen. Yeah, so you send that number to this, and then it won't respond to any other number apart from the admin phone. You can turn that off. You have to know the password. You can turn that off, but that should stop some Nigerian prince trying to get you to send him £1,000 so he can release £3 million of his fortune to you. Yeah, so that's kind of tip one. What other tips are going on? And really, what? Yeah, I suppose I've had enough time with this, and I've gone through what I would do should my bike be stolen. So, dog is annoying me. I think the default setting for this is it's on and it's got data running. So your SIM card, your package should have data going on it. If it doesn't have data going on it, you're just going to get a triangulation from the phone masts, and you won't be able to do any other data stuff with it. So if you've not got data on, you'll just get triangulation stuff. So what I decided to do, because what I didn't want to do is have a pay-as-you-go phone with a data package on, because that costs quite a bit more. So I've got a package where I can add a bolt on to it. So at the moment, my tracker will only send me a location within a couple of meters, maybe 20 meters, based on a triangulation from different phone masts, because it doesn't have a data connection to do any GPS stuff. I think, I could be wrong. So that's what it's doing. So if my bike gets stolen, my immediate reaction is to jump onto Lebara website, add a £5 data bolt on to the account, and then I can send this a signal saying GPRS on. Now, I won't do that until I've got close to this device, or the police say they're close to my bike, close to the location. So what I'd give out probably I'd turn off the admin to this, turn off the admin number. So give the phone number of my bike to the police so they can get the links and stuff. Because obviously what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep this alive for as long as possible. So I'm fortunate that I park my bike in a garage, and when it's parked up, it's plugged in. So it's always the battery on this is always 100% when it leaves this garage. And it's important for me to try and keep the battery in this alive as long as possible. So my process is, this is running on no GPRS, so it's not draining the battery that way. It's giving me a fairly accurate location on it. If my bike got stolen, I'd obviously inform the authorities, say it's got a tracker on it, and I'd send the information to this device to tell it to turn the admin number off, so it'll accept a phone call from any phone. Once I've done that, I'll probably call it myself and find out where it is and start travelling there and tell the police that. And once you get close to this, then I'd turn GPRS on, and then you'd get a more accurate reading of where this is. And obviously, the closer you are, if this is 200 miles away, you don't want to turn it on until you're close to it, because you're just going to waste the battery on this. And that's kind of what I do. So the 2 points really is turn the admin number on, so you don't get phone calls from people just trying to sell your bike something, and turn GPRS off until it gets stolen. It's quite a horrible thing to say, isn't it? So you don't need that on until you're close to your bike, because you're going to get a fairly decent signal without GPRS. So turn that off until you get close to your bike. That should save you quite a bit of battery power. I think that's about it. Those are the two things I've picked up really that is the way I would do it. Is there anything else? Now, and what I'll do in a sec, I'll just go and show you what the kind of what you get from this, what the resource is. I won't do it here because this is where my bike is. So I'll go out and I'll do that in a sec. So I've explained the basic premise of how the system works. I'm just going to take the bike somewhere now and fire off a text. I'm gonna send my bike a text message, or I'm going to call my bike, the tracking system on my bike, and it'll send me a message back with the a Google Map link with the coordinates of where it thinks I am. And to kind of help illustrate the point, I'm going to go somewhere where you can kind of, you know, where it's obvious where I am, and it's obvious when you see the map that, you know, it's got me in the right place. Okay, so don't really want to show you the number and stuff in case you start calling my my bike. So I'm calling my bike now. You might be able to see that I've called my bike. It hung up on me because it's very rude. And I'll just wait for a text message to come through. So I'm currently stood on the approach to Boscombe Down. So there's the runway at Boscombe Down, where my bike is. From love. Hey, I've just got a text. 2 texts. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one. So there's the 2 texts. Let's go for the top one. Google Maps, unnamed location. That's where I am. If I switch to satellite, oh, it's giving me Street View. Don't really want Street View. Go away. Yeah, so that's where I am. Let me try and what I actually want. This is giving me Google Street View, and my bike's actually, that's the bit of parking there, and that's the approach over there. So I suppose if I orientate it, you can see the signs on all over the place there. Those are those signs. So it's got me exactly where I should be. Just took a little while for it to load up, but I'd say that was pretty accurate. Let's go and find somewhere else to do it.
Right, so we need somewhere else. Equally as prominent, I suppose. Horrible ground. Ugh. A biker's nemesis. Oh, that was lucky. Yes, I'm not sure. Well, knowing this area, I know that was right, and I suppose using the airfield at Boscombe Down may not have been a good choice. I'm not sure if they showed the airfield at Boscombe Down because it's a military airfield. Don't know. Well, I'll have a look. The good thing is I can go home now and have a look at those and see where it is at home. Come on, it's just a pile of rocks. So I'm gonna pull into this parking spot up here, having just passed the pile of rocks with a roundabout ahead of it, so that should give us a a fairly decent picture of how accurate the GPS has been, or is. So, a pile of rocks to our right. Okay, let's do this again. Phone, Triumph Tiger, call. Dialing Triumph Tiger. So that's what I'd get. I'd expect to get a line busy tone. Your phone says line busy, it's obviously not going to pick up. Oh blimey! So I've almost instantaneously got this location. If I click on that and go to, yes, you can see where I am there. Just past Stonehenge, and coming up to the roundabout of the 303 and the A360, which is just ahead of us. Yeah, this isn't too shabby at all. If I go into Street View, it might even show the. Yeah, so Street View shows the bit of lay-by that I'm parked in right now. Yeah, so that's what you're going to get with it. That's really quite good, isn't it? And every time I've called, that's cost me 19 pence a time to call that, and that's given me a very accurate location of where the bike is right now. Yeah, so I called the bike sent a text to my phone, and regardless where my phone is, that link gives me a link on Google Maps. Yeah, which is the red marker. The blue marker is my actual location, the phone, but the red marker is where the marker that was sent on the link. I was sold anyway, so it's a really good system. No complaints from me.
Okay, I've come inside for this next bit because this next bit might be a bit difficult. So one of the additional things you get with the TK Star stuff, however rebranded they are, they're all TK Star, is they have a web interface, and they also have an Android and an iPhone app. And what these basically are is I suppose they're tracking the connection, the data from the device in one place. It's difficult to explain without drawing a picture, for example. So the tracker that you've got on your device, it's a bit like a mobile phone. So if it wants to go on the internet, it has to connect to the internet. Okay, and to do that, it needs to use something called an APN, an access point name. So that tells the internet what this is and what language to use, how to talk to it. I suppose I can relate it to whenever you change your SIM card into a new phone, they'll send you some more information, some more settings, which allow you to focus your camera, which allow you to talk to the internet, and you've got to do that for this. Now, if you're just sending this a text message and then getting a response. So if you're just going send it, or phone it, or send it a text, getting a response back, you don't have to bother with this. You can forget about the APN. If you want to use the app that you get, I'll just unlock this out of view. If you want to use the app that's involved with it, that gives you slightly more detail on your device, then you need to configure the device to use the correct APN for the SIM card you're using. Okay, so this has got this is showing me my device. There are things you can do with it. You can do with the track and that kind of stuff. But to be able to use your mobile or the web interface they've got for it, you need the APN. Now that's probably more for if you've got a number of these going. I don't know, if you're running a car hire business, a car hire business, and you've got loads of them, and you're not necessarily with the vehicle, and you want to see where it is. So to use your mobile device or the internet interface, you need the APN. These are easy to get. If you Google, so I'm on Labara. I think the APN details came with my system, but if you Google Labara APN or Vodafone APN or 3 APN or something, you'll get all the details you need. And then in the instructions for the tracker, it tells you how to tell it what the APN details are. Once you've got those APN details in your tracker, it can then start talking to the internet to tell it what it is. Okay, so once you've done that, it'll start. It'll create that connection, so you can then get to it. You get to it, okay, through these by using the. You might have heard this before, the IMEI number. Now that's on the back of your tracker, the IMEI number. So it's basically like the username for your device is the IMEI number. That's on the back of your device. Or when you call your device and you get a response back, your IMEI number is contained within the response as well. Okay, so you can use that IMEI number and the password that's in the instructions to get information on your device. Okay, so that's potentially another way that you could give the details of where your device is to somebody else. You could tell them to go to the the web address that's in the instructions, tell them the IMEI number and the username and password, obviously if they're the fuzz. So that's, I suppose that's quite technical. That's a bit more technical than just phoning it or sending it a text. Okay, that's kind of the second thing you want to do if you want to use the app on your phone, or you want to go to the website that's there, both of which are free. You need the APN of the SIM card you're using, and you need to set it up. You need to tell the tracker what the APN is. And you have to tell it the server, I think the network and the password or something. You have to tell them all those details, and they're readily available on the internet if you Google APN Vodafone or whatever you're on. Okay, so that's slightly more technical but fairly easy, but you begin to see why some of these companies will charge a fee for the ongoing maintenance of it, because it does involve some hassle for you, but it's fairly easy.